Hello, Initiate. Most people believe that doing nothing is the safest option. They call it patience. They call it prudence. They call it waiting for clarity. But in reality, doing nothing is never neutral. It is a position, and every position has a cost. The system understands this. That is why it rewards movement and punishes stillness. Not visibly, not immediately, quietly. Inflation is not an accident. It is the price of inactivity. It is the system's way of saying, if you do not act, your position will decay. The majority does not feel this cost because it is distributed over time, slow enough to ignore, subtle enough to deny, a few percent here, a few percent there, until years pass and purchasing power is gone, not stolen, eroded. This is the most effective form of control. No confrontation, no shock, no moment that triggers rebellion, just gradual loss. Bitcoin exposes this mechanism, not by promising gains, but by revealing decay. When you compare value over time, the illusion breaks. You realize that doing nothing was never free. It was simply invisible. Initiates understand something crucial. Risk is not optional. You either choose it consciously, or you absorb it unconsciously. The majority chooses the second. They believe avoiding action means avoiding risk. In reality, they outsource risk to forces they cannot influence. Monetary policy, debt expansion, political incentives. Doing nothing means saying, I accept whatever outcome this system produces. Initiates refuse that bargain, not because they are reckless, but because they are honest about cause and effect. Bitcoin is not about speculation. It is about consent. Consent to the rules governing your value. With fiat systems, you are opted in by default. You participate whether you agree or not. With Bitcoin, participation is intentional. That alone changes the psychology. When you act, even minimally, you step out of passivity. A single Satoshi is not about wealth. It is about orientation. It marks the moment you stop being purely reactive. The majority waits for certainty. But certainty never arrives, because systems do not announce their breaking point. They drift. They normalize dysfunction. They redefine acceptable. Waiting for confirmation is how people miss transitions. Initiates do not wait for proof. They look for asymmetry. Small action, limited downside, irreversible learning. The cost of starting is small. The cost of not starting compounds. Bitcoin forces this realization because it is unforgiving. It does not adjust to your comfort. It does not pause while you decide. Blocks continue. Time moves forward. The ledger grows, whether you participate or not. This is uncomfortable, and that discomfort is information. It tells you something fundamental. You are already in the game. The only choice is whether you play consciously or remain a background variable. The majority delays because delay feels safe. Initiates move because delay is expensive. Not today, not tomorrow, but over time. They understand that action creates optionality. Inaction removes it. Once optionality is gone, choices narrow, and when choices narrow, pressure increases. Most people act only when pressure becomes unbearable. Initiates act when pressure is still invisible. That is the difference. You do not need conviction. You do not need mastery. You do not need to understand everything. You need to interrupt inertia. One unit is enough. One deliberate step outside automatic compliance, because the real cost was never volatility. It was complacency. Meanwhile, start with a Satoshi.